5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are live. How's it going, guys? Let me straighten up my chair here. Sorry, I have a new camera, so I have to definitely make sure I'm on point. It's a little tricky. I'm changing up some things. I have, obviously, as you know, I'm working on my audio. I'm gonna get some upgrades so I'm not popping so much. I saw the last time, the last episode, I was a little fired up. I was a little excited. I was getting a little excited, a little crazy, and I was popping a little bit. Let me go to let's see here. Looks like, are we live on X? Just trying. Here we are. We are live on X, and let me pin this, and let's see if we can hear our audio. Let's listen to how our audio looks a little bit. Let me go to let's see here. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Sorry about that. Had to do a little audio check. Thanks for watching on Rumble. YouTube, if you can see me on YouTube, I have been shadow banned for my political opinions, but we're working on it. On that, I'm reaching out. And also, I have people watching on X Live, so thank you. We are live streaming. I feel much better today. Obviously, the folks in LA don't. I'm not there. More and more celebrities, more and more wealthy people, more and more average Joes are losing their homes, and I believe the fires are better. I believe they are more contained than they have been before, but we still have a lot of people displaced and a lot of people stuck. Again, my name is Jason J. Daniel. This is the Jason J. Daniel Show. I'm an actor. I'm a former hairdresser. You might be wondering, who am I, right? A former hairdresser. I was a hairdresser for 8 years. I worked in Hollywood, worked behind the scenes. Now I'm an actor. I'm working on the craft of acting. And so I'm going to start to interview some actors, comedians, politicians. I love politics, as I'm sure you know. If you have found me on my X page, you know I'm very serious about politics. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm still working out some of the kinks here. Trying to make sure I'm not cut off too much. But I'm very active in politics. I had a lot of experience in local politics, and now when I see what's going on in California, I'm in California. I don't know if I mentioned that. Sorry, I'm in California. So now when I see what is going on in California, I am perplexed. I'm flabbergasted by the ineptitude and the corruption that I see in California. I was born in California. I've lived here for a very long time. And I'm not a Democrat, but I'm not a Republican. I'm an independent. I'm a libertarian. Live and let live. I don't have a problem with DEI necessarily. I don't have a problem with equity as far as what people are trying to do to make things more balanced when it comes to hiring and government and all those things. I don't have a problem with it. But I do have a problem with people dying in a fire. The death toll, I think, is up to 10 people. I could be blowing that out of proportion, but I have a problem with that. I have a problem, obviously. I have a problem with death. I have a problem with people losing their homes. It doesn't matter if they're rich or poor, what kind of business they have. There are tons and tons of people that were affected that, yes, are celebrities. A lot of them you've been watching on Instagram. Mel Gibson lost his home, Paris Hilton, a number of other folks that are very famous, iconic people lost their homes. There are celebrities that have more than one home, and they're very concerned about what's going on in LA, and they couldn't stop anything. They couldn't control it. As you know, there is no excuse for what happened. And if you watch last night's show, I'm back to back. I normally don't do back-to-back nights, but if you watched last night's show, you'll see I was very upset. I was ranting. It was crazy. It was crazy what we saw. Everything that happened in a 48 to 24 hour period was insanity. It was a blazing inferno, and the Palisades were wiped out. Malibu was essentially wiped out. There were hundreds of homes wiped out off the map. Homes that were so old and creative and unique, they'll never be able to replace those homes. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. I know a lot of you might be thinking, oh, a lot of rich folks were affected. I don't feel bad for rich folks normally. I don't feel bad for celebrities. I think that's crazy. I don't feel bad for them. And I've met a few celebrities. I know some people in Hollywood. I know actors. I mean, that's the business. I know crew. I know people that work in those industries. Most of them, 99% of them are folks just making a living like me and you, but they happen to live in that area and they were affected. Not to mention the animals, the pets, the horses. A lot of horses were displaced. It's crazy. It was crazy. So a lot of the nutty stuff that happened yesterday. Oh, also, please follow me on X, Snap, IG, TikTok, everywhere. Jason J. Daniel. I do sports as well. I'm a big sports guy. I'll just give you an update on what happened with me yesterday after I did my big rant. I was attacked. Now, you would assume that I would be attacked because my opinion was really strong, but I actually received a very hateful threat and something I have not experienced in a long time, but I understand that's what happens. I will not be intimidated. I'm sure, and I didn't block that person, but I'm sure you're watching this right now. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. You're a coward. You're a fucking child. You're immature. I know what you're trying to do, but it's not going to move me because you're a fucking idiot. There you go. I will not be intimidated. And that's what people do when there are folks with a strong voice like mine who just has an opinion. I'm an average guy. When someone like me has a platform of thousands of people, I have over 20,000 folks on all of my social media. This streams to more than just one channel. And I'm going to Twitch, and there's a number of other places. I haven't even dropped this to Spotify. I'm going to put all of my old episodes. We're doing this, man. I like talking. I hope you like listening to it. I believe that podcasting is the future, and so everybody should have a podcast, and so I have one. And so my opinion is just as valuable as anybody else's, but I am not going to shut up just because you happen to be whoever you are that wants to attack me. It's pretty vicious. For those of you that want to viciously attack me, I'm not backing down just because you want to defend Gavin Newsom or Karen Bass. It's a joke. There's an actor friend of mine, again, just a little bit of stories that, I want to tell from what happened yesterday, from the time that I did my rant to now. I have an actor friend. It's an acquaintance that I follow on Instagram. And this individual I highly respect. They sell classes. They sell to other industry people, folks in the acting industry. They give out advice all the time. They're a very big social media person, always narcissistically on their Instagram. And that's okay. I'm a narcissist too. We're all in this business. You got to have a little bit of narcissism. But this person was posting something that no one was posting until today. Nobody was saying that if you wanted Bass to resign, that was racist. That became a thing today. There's not a lot of strength behind that. The effort to recall Bass and Newsom, which will happen, is going to be bipartisan. It's been bipartisan. All of the criticism that Gavin Newsom and Bass have gotten, mostly liberals, mostly Democrats in Los Angeles affected by this. So a lot of folks are saying Newsom and Bass need to resign now. And so that's what we were saying. That's what I was saying yesterday. And thank you for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. There is a live chat going. So if you're watching, I can see your comments. Everybody's comments, I can see them all together. I'm just going to open this up. I do see some friends on. Thanks, guys. I call him Dracula. Trump calls him Gavin Newsom. I call him Dracula Newsom because he's a vampire and he's sucking the blood out of every ounce of California. But back to my point. So my actor friend started posting things that were very hateful and actually started saying, I'm going to unfollow all of you if you don't agree with my opinion, that you're a racist if you don't like Karen Bass. And then he was posting some things that were misinformation, clearly misinformation, and then posting stats saying there was enough water and all these things, and it was not her fault. And I appreciate the fact that he wants to believe that. In fact, you can believe whatever you want to believe. I don't have a problem with it. In fact, I didn't unfollow him yesterday when he started doing this. But then I saw this morning that he was blocking people that had purchased his classes, like actors that just have a different opinion, a conservative or traditional opinion. He started blocking them and posting what they were saying to him, and it wasn't vicious stuff. These folks were just saying, hey, that's out of hand. And so I unfollowed him today, only because I thought that was a bridge too far, and I just don't need that negativity. It's preposterous to think that it is race motivating people who are upset at Karen Bass. Now, sure, there are racists out there. I mean, I would be stupid. I'm not stupid, but I would be stupid. You know where I was going with that. Maybe you think I am. I would be dumb to say there is not racism out there. Okay, sure, racism exists in this world. I'm going to be the first one that says, of course, it still does. But the fact that there's no water and that everybody was an equity hire and they were incompetent and people died and LA will never be the same and it was completely preventable, that doesn't make me anything but normal. That's a sane, rational argument. So for you to say that it's anything but what it is, which is gross incompetence, you're a fool. So be a fool all you want to be. I'm just saying, hey, I'm just an average guy with a voice and I happen to have a podcast. And I'm talking about something that's a very serious matter. Homes and lives disrupted. It's not just a 3-day fire, a 4-day fire. We're talking about people that their insurance was canceled because California's rules and regulations are out of hand. We're talking about people that are going to get fired. There's going to be a score of underlings fired. It's already starting. See, there's going to be a lot of people scapegoated except the two people that are the goats, not the good goats. They're the bad goats, which is Karen Bass and Gavin gruesome Newsom. We've already seen it. The Dems are cannibalizing themselves, man. They're cannibalizing. So did you see? Gavin Newsom wrote a letter saying he wants an investigation. Oh, okay. He wants an investigation so Karen Bass will get the heat. And that's fine. He's now pointing the finger at her, which is what Gavin Newsom does. That's how he survived for years. Trust me, dudes. Trust me. If you even just Google Gavin Newsom, San Francisco, you will be up for hours reading about all the gross incompetence that numbskull perpetrated on the Bay Area. He ruined San Francisco. A lot of the problems San Francisco is now trying to dig out of, this motherfucker started. And so he gets into power in California and nobody likes him, man. Nobody likes Gavin Newsom. Who likes Gavin Newsom? Only people that are not educated in the political process or just maybe think he's handsome, maybe think he's got nice hair. I don't know why you would think that he has contributed to California. I've been here for a long time. A lot of you have as well. And if you live in another state and you're listening to the sound of my voice, Google Gavin Newsom's accomplishments. You can't find any. You find a lot of lies. You find a lot of untruths. You find a lot of him flying around the nation trying to campaign for president. You find him defending the Biden zombie scandal. You find him at the White House. You find him doing photo ops. You find him doing that kind of stuff. But you can't find him when you need him to actually govern the state. And the stuff he has done has only set up California for more disasters. Somebody got on, I forget what I was listening to, but I was listening to a clip today and somebody was saying on one of these mainstream outlets, God protect us if there's an earthquake right now. I mean, can you imagine an earthquake on top of this? These guys have no idea what they're doing. So back to my point. So back to my actor friend point. So I went ahead and messaged him and I was like, hey, I want you to come on my podcast, man. Let's talk. I'm open-minded. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not perfect. We're not perfect. But I wanted to say, hey, you know what? If you want to debate that this issue of you're racist, if you want Bass to resign, cool. We can debate that. I'm open-minded. I said, look, full disclosure, I think you're wrong. And I think that's an incorrect way to look at it. But I'm open-minded. Now, he hasn't responded yet. And on Instagram, you can see if somebody's read your message. He's a busy guy. He's an actor. He's working. If I told you the shows that he's on, you know them. He does big shows. Okay, he's a very good actor. I have nothing personal against him, but that's just one example of the hateful stuff that people are just spewing out because they can't accept the truth that they voted for idiots. That's really hard for people to accept. People hate that they voted for idiots. And speaking of another idiot, did you see today that Biden attacked Zuckerberg? Zuckerberg, not only did he do a little presser, a little video saying that, hey, I've seen the light. The Biden administration was muscling us up. The Biden administration was breaking the rules. we're gonna stop with our disinformation help of the Biden administration, and we're gonna promote free speech. We know Zuck was losing followers, or I'm sorry, users of Facebook and Instagram. I stopped using Facebook. A lot of people couldn't believe anything that was going on, and he said he's not going to use fact checkers. Today, Zuckerberg went on Joe Rogan and said the fact checkers, okay, are independent. They're a third party. They're political. He admitted it today. He admitted it, and he also said the Biden administration were calling his people, cursing and threatening them, demanding they pull down COVID truth about COVID, truth about side effects of the shot, truth about Hunter Biden. And so Facebook did it. They complied because of the threats and the pressure. Why would Zuckerberg do that? Well, did you see what Biden did today? He attacked Zuckerberg. He had a press conference and attacked him and said that Zuckerberg is essentially pretty much an enemy of the state now. Well, what Biden has 10 days left. I'll try to find that video and cue it up for him. But he's attacking them. Look, Zuckerberg's still a Democrat. They're cannibalizing each other. Gavin Newsom is cannibalizing Bass. They're just all fighting and hating on each other. And I'm getting attacked by folks that don't like my opinion about these two scoundrels. Look, I'm very strong in my opinion, but you have to be strong because enough is enough. How many more people need to die? How many more people need to lose their homes? I'm in Northern California. We've had fires every year that Gavin Newsom was responsible for, and he always underfunded them. And then he cried and whined, saying he didn't have enough help. Remember in 2018, 2019, the whole famous clips where Trump showed up and Trump was trying to be buddy-buddy with him and saying, hey, I'm going to help you out here. And Gavin was kissing Trump's ass and saying, oh, we just need more help. And Trump for years did his best to help, but Newsom doesn't want help. He doesn't want to fix anything. He doesn't fucking care. He's AWOL all the time. You could look at the last 2 years of what he was doing around the country and also going overseas and all the stuff he was doing for the Bidens. And then Harris, he was not prepared. He was not paying attention. It's clear. It's obvious. The disaster that we had in LA doesn't happen when you're paying attention, when you're making sure there's water. There wasn't water. There wasn't water. It's fucking wild, man. The fact that people can know the facts and then say, well, it's racism if you think Karen Bass is doing a bad job. That's lunatic. This is what that means. If you believe that it's racist to criticize Karen Bass, you're an anarchist. You're not a liberal. You're not a Democrat. You are an anarchist because that means you're okay with death and destruction. You like chaos. If you like what she did, you like chaos. All I have to do is say, when you're elected to that powerful office and you have all that money and all that prestige, you have to be held accountable. Where's the accountability for these people? You're letting them off the hook all the time. Everyone has excuse. See, Gavin Newsom is not smart. Not. He never held a real job. He never did. He's a Nepo baby. Look it up. He is from old money. Nancy Pelosi and his daddy was a powerful judge in the Bay Area. All they did was kiss Gavin's ass. And every time Gavin got into major trouble, there was always some political person to help him out of the scandal. Gavin Newsom never did his job in San Francisco correctly, and he's still never done his job correctly. Lieutenant governor is nothing. He had nothing to do for 8 years but sit around and fuck around. Then he becomes governor, and he is an absolute disaster. I just dropped something. Dropped my stuff. I'm so excited. So look, I don't have anything but negative things to say about the guy because I've lived through it. I've lived through it. I don't live in LA, but I know that Karen Bass is a communist. We know she loved the Castro regime. She cried when Castro died, and she's connected to Cuba. She's a communist. And you're going to say, well, that has nothing to do with, it has everything to do with how lazy you are when it comes to making sure things are correctly done. Gavin Newsom is lazy. He is basically a borderline communist as well. It has everything to do with the fact of how, if you believe that everybody should be the same and we shouldn't work hard to correct things and we shouldn't work hard in this country, but we should just give things away, that's a lazy attitude that Gavin Newsom has. He's never worked a serious job in his life. He's never done anything but photo ops and been a party guy. And then now he's just brought the party to LA. He's brought it to California. And this is what you get. So it's not racist to say that Karen Bass is a disaster. Speaking of the cannibalism of the Dems, check this out. Okay, check this out. Now, I'm just going to show you a little bit of what's going on in Gavin Newsom's world. Now, I'm going to jump to the screen here. I'm going to show you a little something. Okay, check this out. Listen to what Gavin Newsom said when he was crying to Joe Biden today.
Initiated every federal agency, from the Department of Defense on, every federal agency be part of this. And the other thing is, look,
sure,
I think you're getting a bad rap. I know
you're getting a bad rap.
Hydrants don't have enough water in them.
It's not your fault.
Give me a break.
Well, look at
what
base.
this is all about is the utilities, understandably. What they did is they cut off power because they're worried about these high tension lines coming down and causing more fire.
What kind of dumb shit is that, man?
When they do that, guess what? They shut off the power that controls the ability to pump the water.
What kind of dumb shit is this?
So now,
like even Newsom knows this.
They're getting generators. I mean, this is complicated stuff. They're going to have a lot of.
What's complicated stuff? Oh, this is complicated. You know what? It's fucking preposterous, man. It's crazy, man. It is. And so Biden says the fire hydrants didn't have water in them and people are mad. It's a joke. Speaking of a joke, look at this video.
Period. Did the city of Los Angeles feel?
So they're asking the fire chief, hey, it's your job. What happened on your job? Look at the look on her face. Then the question was, hey, whose fault is it?
You and your department and our city?
It's my job to stand up as a chief and exactly say justifiably what the fire department needs to operate to meet the demands of the community.
Did they fail you?
That is our job. And I tell you, that's why I'm here. So let's get us what we need so our firefighters can do their jobs.
Did they fail you?
Yes.
Oh, whoa.
Period.
Let's say it again.
Jobs.
Did they fail you?
Yes.
Okay, so did they fail you? Yes. Now, check this out. The word on the street is that this fire chief got fired tonight. Now, I jumped on and I started to see, okay, there's some buzz on this. CNN is reporting it was a stern talking to, but everybody else is reporting that the fire chief was fired. Let's see here. Check this out. Okay, so we've got some reports saying Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass has fired Fire Chief Christian Crowley after she criticized the mayor. Now, this account here does do misinformation, and I've criticized them for that. But let's jump here. Here we go. Here's another report. She has been fired. LA Mayor Karen Bass fires the fire chief. Now, we do know that the fire chief met with Bass, and the media was outside. Now, listen to what CNN is saying. They are saying, and this is 30 minutes ago, like you can see, they're saying that there was a stern talking to, but she's still employed.
Brought you at the top of the hour. There was a meeting a short time ago between the mayor of Los Angeles, Karen Bass, and the LA fire chief, Christian Crowley. The two have been publicly contradicting each other on whether or not budget cuts had hindered the LA Fire Department's ability to respond to these wildfires that are burning tonight. Chief Crowley had been blunt, including in an interview on CNN here earlier, saying that her warnings about those budget cuts and how they were affecting her department had been ignored. But the mayor's office is denying an online report tonight that she had fired Crowley, her office telling CNN, quote, "This is false."
Okay, so they're denying it. Well, we'll find out by tomorrow. Okay, we'll find out. But they're eating themselves. They're cannibalizing each other. There is a letter, you can look for it online. Gavin Newsom posted on X, where he's criticizing, even though he's not criticizing, he's criticizing Bass, and he's trying to find a scapegoat, saying that there needs to be an investigation into what happened. Look, there doesn't need to be an an investigation would be great, but there doesn't need to be an investigation on the truth. I don't know. Was she fired? Was she not? I feel like that if she wasn't fired tonight, she eventually will be fired, because they have to look. If the reports are true, they're going to have to find a scapegoat. And look, you watch the video. I just played it. She went out and said it's their fault. It's our fault. They let us down. Our government let us down. She didn't say it was racism. She didn't say it was any kind of sexism or any kind of discrimination, that there wasn't water there. She said it was on us. We failed. So if she was fired, look, we have conflicting reports. She was fired for the truth. If she wasn't fired, she's probably going to be fired for the truth. Look, all I got to say is I'm not defending this person. I think she should be fired. I think they all should be fired. Now, you can't do it now. You need to get some folks to replace everybody, but I think she should be fired. And speaking of fired, there is a new recall. There's talk of a new recall. Talk of a new recall for Gavin Newsom. How crazy is that? A guy who survived a recall last year is probably going to have to go through another recall. Now, he's termed out. We've got another 2 years of this idiot, and I support a new recall. Normally, I don't support recalls because these politicians like Dracula, Newsom, know how to dodge the recall. They know how to raise money. The media in California, until yesterday, protects Gavin Newsom. That's a whole nother conversation. The media protected him for years. Sacramento Bee, LA Times, and also New York Times when he started to become more political and more active. Other huge newspaper outlets, San Francisco Chronicle, they all protected Gavin Newsom. And when he was running, for re-election, and the recall, they just pumped as much positive stories as they could, and they didn't cover the opponents. And the truth was, the opponent that wanted to be elected if Newsom was recalled Larry Elder was not a strong candidate. One, he didn't have enough time, and two, he was attacked over and over by the media machine. They will ruin your reputation here. That's what they do if you're not Gavin Newsom, if you're not part of that deep state machine. And so there just wasn't a viable candidate to replace him. It was a perfect storm. But now we have people. There are more candidates that will replace him. And I will interview everyone on my podcast that runs against Newsom if there is a recall. So the reason why I have a question here, is there a new recall? I've seen the petition. I've seen the website. We'll talk about it in the future, but I still need to verify, is this a legitimate movement? I haven't signed the petition yet. I will. I'm going to look into it. What is on the table? Because I do know the last recall just wasn't good timing, and there weren't people behind it that had the political strength. You have to get a candidate. That's what happened with Schwarzenegger. When Schwarzenegger was brought in during that recall, as soon as he said he was running, that was the strength that the recall needed. And so you had Schwarzenegger running and the recall running. And Schwarzenegger's campaign began, the recall against Gray Davis and the Schwarzenegger campaign began to morph into one thing. And that's what we need to happen this time. So look, I'm down with the recall. I think that's great. If it happens, right on. If it doesn't, I'm not gonna cry about it, but we're still going to, we're not gonna waste any tears. We're going to work hard to make sure the truth comes out. And when I say me, I'm saying just everybody with a voice. Look, I started this podcast and I wanted to have fun and talk to other actors and talk to comedians and talk to interesting people, which I will. But now I'm going to actually campaign for this recall. If it is a real thing, that is going to be important to me to campaign for. So guys, that's it. I just wanted to do a little conversation with you tonight and talk about all that stuff going on, and just give you an update. I definitely want to have some fun shows, but this is a tough time in California and LA. I have family there. I have people there I know, and the fires, they have affected people I know. Look, if your favorite actor or reality show star or person of interest lost their home, that's something that's important. That affects you. I know we're seeing a lot of that on Instagram. There's the celebrities that were dodging it and the ones that weren't. But look, everybody in Los Angeles that's a voter, they're going to have to make their choice on Karen Bass. These knuckleheads are not going to resign. They never do. They don't resign even when they're busted. Gavin Newsom was busted in San Francisco years ago. He's been busted over and over for his lies. He lied to, I don't know if you saw that video yesterday. It's gone viral. They are not talking about it enough today because they want to let him off the hook. But he lied to a citizen. A woman ran up to him virtually in tears and in panic saying, "Can you help me? I just lost my home, dude. Our neighborhood burnt down." And Gavin's sitting there with the sunglasses, big timing her, and lied and said, "Well, I'm talking to the president right now. I can't talk to you." And security was trying to push her away. This is the kind of governor you have. In the middle of a crisis, he doesn't want to touch people. He doesn't want to talk to the common people. He wants to go to his mansion and have his flapjacks served to him, breakfast in bed by his servants and all the stuff he does by his staff. Gavin Newsom, make no mistake, he has disdain for average people. He's never been around people that aren't rich. Okay, he has disdain for the voters. Voters are a means to an end. So then he lies and said, "I am on the phone with the president." Like that even fucking matters. But he said, "I'm on the," and she said, "Well, I want to hear it. I want you to prove it." "Well, I'm sorry," he said. "I've been trying to call the president. I've called him 5 times. I can't get a signal." It's just bullshit. He lied to her face in 4K in front of the world, streaming on live on Sky News. The entire world saw it, and yet all of the media in California still want to give him a pass. He's a liar. They should just say liar Newsom, because that's exactly what he did in front of everybody. And that's the problem with the deep state. That's the problem, man. You have people lying to your face. You have these politicians lie right to you. Biden lies every day. He lies as much as he gets up and talks. They lie to your face, and we still vote him in. We still believe him. What goodness comes out of keeping Gavin Newsom in office? What good comes out of that? Sorry, I was choking on water. What good comes out? Nothing. No good comes out of that. No good comes out of Karen Bass being in charge of LA. No good comes out of that. It's over, man. They cannot rebuild the thing. It's going to be serious drama in California. It's over for them. Look, I predict they're not going to survive politically for the next. I just predict for the next year, they're not going to survive, man. Politically, they're going to be voted out or recalled. So we'll give you more info on that. Thanks for watching, guys. Again, follow me on X and follow me on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. It helps. I posted a video about New York and criticized their politics, and I got shadow banned, and I got a 2-week ban from YouTube. So I still stream there because I have hundreds of 400 videos there. I have more than 100 shows. That's where I started. So I'm gonna keep my YouTube going, but I'm gonna add some more outlets. We're gonna do Spotify's, Twitch, Rumble. Shout out to Rumble Studio. I am using Rumble primarily to stream this show. So thank you for watching. And also X. I love my X, folks. My last video, 700 views. Our last show, the show before that, broke 1,000. The show before that, we're doing really well on the views. So thank you, guys. I really appreciate that. And that's just X. Not to mention Facebook. I'm using Facebook. Shout out to the Zuck. So thank you. Thank you for following me. A follow goes a long way. So if you're watching this on Rumble, just smash that subscribe. I appreciate it. Definitely smash it on YouTube, because that lets the algorithm know I should not be shadow banned. I'm going to write a letter to YouTube. We're going to work on it. They made a mistake on their algorithm. It happens. But there's no free speech on YouTube. You have to be careful, but it is what it is. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching tonight. And shout out to you guys. Stay safe. And if you're in LA, my heart goes out to you. Stay safe, guys. And we've got some fun stuff ahead on the horizon. I got some fun stuff planned for you guys. So thank you. I want to take a moment while we wrap this show up to let you know that this show is produced by Hollywood Zombie Productions. Have a great night.